everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the previous video, I talked about all the documentation you will need in order to naturalize your driver's license, especially your driver's license issue countries are not in the list of Vienna on the road traffic. If you haven't watched that video yet, you may want to check it out. I will put it in the description below. Okay, so let's continue talking about how to naturalize your driver's license. There are several driving schools that teaches you in English, German, Russian, and some other languages. Of course, I don't speak any other language besides Japanese and English, and Japanese is not an option here in Hungary. So I literally Googled which school I can go. There were several schools that offered English classes. Unfortunately, those classes have already been started, and I needed to wait another month or two. And the other one didn't offer English class anymore for whatever the reason. And luckily, one of my friends who got the motorcycle license here in Hungary, and she told me that, or she introduced me her school, her driving school. So that's where I went. I will put that school name in the description below. They used to have two locations for the knowledge or theory classes. Unfortunately, the school that I went at the Seller Commentaire was closed after pandemic. And actually, my classes was started literally the beginning of coronavirus. So I think I went to classes maybe twice. And then the pandemic came over and the class was, the literally canceled because the exam center was closed for quite a long period of time. So it doesn't really make sense to learn all those things, when you cannot really take exam. So I think they reopened the classes, but online, maybe in May or June in 2020. So I did it all the online classes, maybe in total I think 6-7-ish classes. Each class lasted about 90 minutes to 2 hours. And of course everything is in English, but there are quite a lot of details you need to learn. Don't be fooled that this is just their theory exam or knowledge exam for driving, and especially when you want to naturalize your driver's license, you have already learned all those, the traffic rules. Exam is pretty difficult. They will ask you very detailed information. Seriously, very detailed information. So you really have to remember a lot of details. And fortunately, my school offers, some kind of extra hour or two to review all those, the past exams. So you did all those a mop-up exam, and now you are ready to take exam. So exam is taking place in I think that it is 11th district. It is near New Buda. I cannot remember how many questions you need to take, but I think it was 40 to 50 questions, and you have to answer per question in 1 minute. Once the 1 minute is over, then even if you haven't answered that question yet, the next question is displayed on screen. Fortunately, you can flag any questions you are not so sure. If you still have enough time, then you can go back to the questions after you finish everything. You will know if you pass the exam or not right after you close the window. Like I said before, it's pretty difficult. I mean, like, there are two types of difficulties here. So one is, like I said before, you'll be asked quite detailed information on the exam. The second difficulty is English. So the questions are not written by native English speakers. So sometimes it's difficult to understand what they are trying to say, to be honest with you. Like, some questions I have no idea what they are asking me. So shame on me, but I failed twice. I felt like I should maybe give up. But anyway, that happened to me. Hope doesn't happen to you, but I really warn you, you really need to study the exam. If you fail like me, then you can arrange the next test at the exam center. If you pass the exam, congratulations, now you can take driving lessons. If you simply want to naturalize your driver's license, I don't think there is the requirement for you to take how many driving lessons you need to take. If you never drive, if you don't have the driver's license, then you need to meet the minimum required hours of driving on the road. There are a few challenges for driving lessons. First of all, it may take you quite a while to arrange the lessons with the English speaker instructor. In my case, I needed to wait at minimum a month to start taking driving lessons. Second challenge is really depends on where you live. I live in city center, but these driving lessons are taking place really outside of a city center. In my case, it was nearby Budaosh. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it took me about like 15 minutes to get there. Okay, and each class lasts, I think, 100 minutes. I believe this is standard. So 100 minutes, and of course, I have a driver's license, so I could go to the on the road on the day one. Okay, you can decide, like I said, since there is no limit, if you want to just naturalize your driver's license, you may want to decide how many classes you want to take. My instructor, she said at minimum you should take 6 or 7 classes. And I felt she was absolutely right. Let me tell you why. So there are several driving routes you will learn during the classes. And you have to remember each route, where the examiner will check whether you meet the requirement or you met the rule, the traffic rule. In order to remember all those, the sort of checkpoint, you will need at least like 6 classes. That's why she recommended me taking at least 6 or 7 classes. So like, I remember all those details from her, so I can pass the exam in one shot. And I felt that I was really fortunate to listen, to her recommendation, because I passed the exam in one shot. I understand you have, the right skill set for driving, and don't get me wrong, I love driving and I'm pretty good at, driving, but you have to remember, those checkpoints for each route. So I also recommend taking, at least 6, 7 classes before the exam. I think the exam lasts actually like 30-40 minutes. It's pretty simple because, for the classes, you will take, 2 or 3 driving routes every time. But for exam, it's just only one. So that's why I think it lasted about 30 minutes. Yeah, so my examiner didn't speak English, but of course my the instructor translated me to do all those, like, now you have to find the parallel parking spot, or like please take a right, those stuff. So she translated me everything in English. Alright, so now you pass the driving exam as well. You will bring all the document, the proof of you passing the exam, and you will go to the central office again to submit all those documentation. If I remember correctly, I believe I also made an appointment. I called the 181 again and then made an appointment. And once I submit all the documentation, and I think within a week or 2, I received a driver's license. Now I can, drive anytime. So yeah, that's the process. Like I said, you really need to be patient in order to naturalize your driver's license. All the prep, making an appointment, finding a school. Even if you find a school, you need to make an appointment for tests. Finding the English instructor. So in total, I think you will need, 4 to 6 months to naturalize your driver's license. There are several weeks that you can't really do anything. You just need to wait, unfortunately. I hope this information help you understand, the entire process of naturalizing your driver's license, including the theory and knowledge exam and driving test as well. Thank you very much for watching my YouTube channel. See you in another video.